spring is over, so we point our compass, I guess, a little bit towards the future here. But I thought our spring game went well. Great crowd. Very excited about the crowd. I thought everybody came out and did a nice job. Had 1,700 plus kids at our youth clinic, so that's the biggest ever. So our players did an outstanding job trying to sort of make it a life moment for our young people. As far as the game's tough to say as you watch it, from the field, is you always get a different feel for it. But when you watch it on film, you get usually a little bit different feel. But I thought our guys played hard. I thought the hitting was very, very good. I was impressed with Gerald Holmes' ability to tough it out in there. He got some tough yards, kept, very tough yards. I thought he ran pretty effectively. London had the big run, showed a little bit of speed, and played like a freshman a little bit in there a couple times. But he's going to be an exciting back to watch as we go forward. And everybody played. Cook was crisp, especially early, and I thought the play calling was pretty good early. And I'll just take a couple questions and we'll go.
Mark, when the students were running out of the tunnel with your players, your smile was not characteristic of you. Would you talk about what that meant to you? Because you seemed to just take a moment and really savor it.
Well, we had 2 student clinics, and with the opportunity, told them they'll have an opportunity to run out out of the tunnel in the spring game. And I wanted our guys to get a little wider so they could run out because they were trickling out. But there were a lot of people back there. But the excitement that they had and the enthusiasm that they showed really was what that smile was all about. And, it's great to, when people do something and they're so excited about doing it and you have an opportunity to make that happen a little bit, it gives you a lift a little bit. So that's what that was about probably. But, yeah, love our students and their enthusiasm and they're for real. Their excitement and everything, it's contagious.
Mark, was this any kind of comment on your defensive line next year or more about, your offensive line being split up into 2 squads?
The last part?
In other words, more about the defensive line being good or the offensive line being split into 2 squads in terms of how the defense
there's a combination of both probably. I think we have a very good offensive line, but it is split in these games. And then, we've got depth on our front 7. We got numbers. We got numbers on both our fronts, actually. Had a couple players out. But Shalik Calhoun is a very good defensive end. I think LT and Malik, I think they were all on the white team had a couple. I think they had the starting defensive tackles probably more or less. But Shalik made his presence known, I think, on the green team as well. So should be good up front. Should be, have been, should be.
Mark, a player has not been really in the mix in the last couple of years, Dantonio Arnett. 5 catches today. I know you're not going to have a full complement there of receivers, but where is he on the mix, and what do you like from where he is? And
well, I've said all spring that he's had a good spring. He's been more effective. He's got to catch the ball and get north, but he's caught the ball much better. And he's got ability. He's got great ability, and we've sort of been waiting for him to take off. So 2015 might be that time. He's got to come to camp ready to go. He's stayed healthy all spring, which is another big plus, and he's gotten a lot of reps. And he's repped with the 1s, he's repped with the 2s, so he's repped in that top 6, which if you're in that top 6 at wide receiver, you're going to get opportunities. And I think that he's had a couple scrimmages with catches as well, 7 catches, I think, the last scrimmage. So he's an effective player. He's got big play perspective there, and, we've got to wait for him to break out. So that would be a great story in itself. Yeah, Mike.
Coach, other than the first drive, not many deep balls. Is that a testament to some of those young DBs that you and Harlan have been working with? And just if you can assess the secondary today.
Yeah, I think our secondary looked like they played pretty well from ground level. They were on them pretty tight. But, wind was blowing down there. A couple times he got sacked when they did have, some deep shot opportunities. But until I see the film, I was behind the quarterback. So, I don't really know what's going on totally back there. But I thought they played pretty well. Nicholson, RJ I think had a nice scrimmage, and I thought our corners played pretty well as well.
Coach, I know you said you wanted 50,000 people for the game. It was announced at 48,000. What are your thoughts on that?
I thought it was a great crowd, and we just keep trying to climb the ladder as we move forward, and it was an excitable crowd, you know. So just very appreciative of people making their day, taking their day, and coming out and doing this. And I just want to send that message out to all of our Spartans. I thought it was a great crowd, so it was impressive.
Mark, you mentioned a couple guys that got some work both ways with LT and even Shalik and Monte Nicholson. Can you talk about those guys and then also talk a little bit about those trick plays early on and what the linemen did? I mean, are there more rushing plays for those guys involved?
Yeah, hopefully. I thought, we don't have a lot of rules in these spring games except don't break out new concepts. So anything that we've done in the past, we do, and the book is open. And anything that they can create that is new, that book's open too. So, I thought Coach Dayton did a nice job, with some wrinkles in there, and he's always has a unique perspective play calling. So I think he did an excellent job, and the green team did a nice job as well. I'm not sure, had a couple things that didn't go as well, but we've got football players. We recruit football players. We recruit guys that can play on both sides of the line of scrimmage. We recruit guys that can play in the offensive backfield or the defensive backfield, or a wide receiver and DB and vice versa. So I think those type of things show up, especially in spring games when you have an opportunity to get them reps. And that's what happened out there. Good football players, though.
I know you can't talk about specific recruits, but just the momentum in general and how that plays into your future.
Yeah, I think recruiting has sort of taken off a little bit this week, and that's a positive. We've been on guys, and we've had a lot of them up here numerous times. A lot of these football players are very good players with opportunities elsewhere, obviously. That goes without saying, I think, and we're excited about the movement today. And so I guess that's all I'm allowed to say.
Hey, Coach, how did you decide who was going to get the ball on those trick plays? And does Jack Allen get the game ball for scoring the only touchdown today?
Well, you knew an offensive line coach was calling those plays because he had them all dialed up. Throwback to 76 and, the trap to Jack. But those guys are good. You see what kind of athletes they are, because it looked like it was pretty clogged up, and Jack sort of cut left, cut right a little bit and was in the end zone. And, big play by Donovan Clark catching the ball, lineman's dream. So if you're athletic, you're big, you're fast, especially big and fast and powerful, this is a place for you.
Coach, when you've had a quarterback like Connor Cook in your system as long as you have, what are the things that you can possibly work on with him going into his next season?
I think every game's a different game, so, you need to be sharp every single time you go out there. Quarterback is such a big component of any offense or any game itself. So you can always get better. There's always a game that you can move forward. But just like I said out there when I was talking to the reporters out there, Connor Cook has experience. He has 5 years' worth of experience. Just this spring alone, he's probably thrown the ball, I don't know, nearly 1,000 times, whether it's Pascal or T.